Interesting.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. The
Next
future
card is the future. Describes new
Magician.
circumstances coming into being in
Reverse.
the near future. And this is the Magician reverse.
Okay.
I got it.
All right.
Okay. A powerful and wise figure, we all know. The Magician represents the... you're right. Sorry. This is a
She
common
does
Is this a
it.
scrub?
No. She just does this
theme of
all the
pod.
time.
I do it all the
She
time.
reads the wrong version.
Yep. Okay. Magician reverse suggests you may be experiencing self-doubt or you can't see the way clearly. Perhaps you haven't fully developed the skills, knowledge, or confidence you need to take on the challenge or to follow the course you've chosen. Sometimes the Magician reverse can indicate your energy is too low now to accomplish your objective. But in a reading about love, you or a partner may be engaging in power struggles or manipulative behavior. This card can also represent deception or keeping secrets. In some cases, the reverse Magician means you're lonely and tired of a solo existence.
Okay, I feel like this kind of tracks.
All right.
So this is about disconnection from personal power or manipulative. The reverse Magician can point to misuse of power, manipulation, or trying to force a situation. This is where I feel like maybe this is where it's coming in, because I don't think you're manipulating on purpose, but I think you're trying to force a situation. That's what I'm feeling. You may be doubting your ability to create and manifest, or experiencing a personal block to your connection with an important aspect of your identity. This is a time to reconnect to the source of power within you. Trust that if the door isn't opening, there may be a better door elsewhere, or there another way in. If you feel blocked, redirect your energies.
I feel like this is definitely in reference to your like actual power that you have.
Yeah. I think that's something we've talked about. That's kind of been a journey since like October of 2020, and has been like that's when I got this moonstone.
It's like shifting what is actually going to move you forward.
Yeah, and I think I like actually spoke to my older brother, who's like very much he's a Libra, but he's like very external. Like I would imagine he has like millions of fire signs, but actually my nephew, his son, is a fucking G and can call people signs from meeting them once. He's 8. He's a Scorpio. He's a little fucking weirdo. I love him.
Scorpios, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I do, but sometimes they're chaotic, and sometimes me and them fight.
We love that.
Yeah, we love it.
As
well,
like
Aquarius, Scorpio. Yeah, well,
and then
like
my Pisces, I'm like crying inside about it.
I love me a Pisces friend, because Pisces and Cancers, like Cancers.
It's my moon. Like I go deep. I'm in it.
When someone told me that Cancers were the most stable of the water signs, I said we are
really?
all fuck. Yes.
Really?
That's what. Yes. I've read it. I've read numerous
shocked.
reports. Me too.
But
think about it. Pisces are unwell.
Yeah.
They can't ground themselves with reality.
Yeah.
And Scorpios like will literally hide in a deep dark cavern of like, you fucked me over, and it's like, bro, like I told you that I didn't want lettuce on my sandwich, you know? And it's like Cancers will like do like they'll like be mad, but they'll be like, I'm gonna make you your fucking sandwich how you want it because I don't want you to hate me, you know? But their pinchers are out, and then Scorpios have their stingers, and so we either get along or we're fighting.
Yeah.
You know, but my nephew's amazing, and he called it. My brother has like some Capricorn in him, and
I love
to kind
Capricorns too, because
I love Caps.
We just like talk a great shit.
Caps are like my inverted opposite, and like so me and Caps get along.
Yeah, they're
so
not.
well.
They're not crying. They're just fiery about it.
Yes, one of my best friends is a Capricorn, and they like she and I are like ambitious career friends that are like, hey, this is what's going on in my world. How should I pivot? What move should I make? What should I do? So I love me a good Capricorn. We like shake on the like. Cancers are like very serious about work. Like we can be very, very serious about like our money and about, because it's stability, right?
Yeah.
It's
also,
like,
I think also like identity, especially if it informs work in some ways. I think that's something that Cancers, I think, they're like, this is worth protecting.
yes, I'm all about like the people.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like where people meets process, like the theoretical and the imperfect, and how do you like meld that?
Yeah.
And I love like every person is different. Every person has a story. Every person has potential, and it's like if you believe that about them, I think they see that about them. Sometimes that's also my red flag.
Okay. We're in our last straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Magician is sort of like the reverse Magician, if I'm getting it, is just sort of like letting my power be versus trying to use it too extensively, which I've gotten numerous times. Like, hey, just start one big fire versus a bunch of little fires.
I also think it's like what you thought it was versus what it actually is turning out to be. If that makes
Which sounds
sense.
like my EMDR therapy.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, this was actually way different. And I've had to humble myself and be like, yo, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I feel like that's what probably is like what's going on here with
And
that.
that's the future?
That's circumstances coming into being in the near future. So I would take
So in
it as
this
like a
love
little bit
context,
of advice.
yeah.
Like,
Let it be.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the 7 card, and this describes your current state of mind. And we have the Page of Swords reversed. Okay. Despite your intelligence, you may lack clarity or direction. So when this card appears, it may indicate like idealism, impracticality, or frivolousness. Sometimes it suggests a narrow or rigid worldview that prevents new information from coming in.
I have gossip and defensiveness.
Ooh, if the page reversed represents a real person, it could be young, inexperienced individual, or someone whose limited life experience and blinkered attitudes leave him or her at a disadvantage. So someone very naive, I think. In a reading about love, you feel insecure or unequipped to handle the demands of a relationship. Perhaps you want time for yourself and you aren't ready for serious commitment. In some cases, this card can warn that a partner isn't what he or she seems or that indiscretion is afoot.
Yeah, I don't think that's about me, but I understand
Probably
it. But
about
it's not even
the
that person.
options.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I have mine says gossip and defensiveness. It says the reverse Page of Swords in your reading can represent insidious gossip or manipulation tactics
More
perpetrated.
about manipulation a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like perpetrated either by you or by someone around you, which I think is maybe someone around you.
Yeah, I think it also plays into the masculine power structure. And that's sort of what I'm trying to change is that there's this maybe like more manipulative masculine force that prevents me from actually opening up to masculine
Right.
energy, because right now what I'm experiencing is a more manipulative version. And even though in a non-romantic way,
Yeah.
you know, and like, even though I've shed a lot of that in different ways over the last year, I think there's still maybe a little bit more work to be done.
And this is your current state of mind. So
And that's how I feel. Yeah. In some ways. Yeah.
It says, bear in mind that the information you share with others may not be kept private. And notice how you feel when you're around people who are gossiping or talking about someone who isn't present.
well, she do be on a podcast talking about it.
How do you
That's actually not what I'm worried about, because I think if anything, if this person,
The
I
other
feel
way?
comfortable saying it, they would be like, oh, okay, cool. So now she's just confirming what we both knew. Like in the past, because I don't think I've said anything with too much indiscretion. So I really don't think it's about this person. I could see that being in other areas of my life, like some other things like going on outside of that. But I think that those things are affecting my romantic life, even if it's not the romantic people in my life.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So the next
The
card
Lover's Reverse
shows circumstances or
man.
people surrounding your situation.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. All right, lovers.
I'm like ready to see what's
Me
going
too.
on. Reverse. Okay.
I want to hear like your
Oh,
whole guy's
man.
like analogy, like breakdown, like analysis.
Okay.
Like, after
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I feel like sometimes it's very apparent as we get through the cards, but then sometimes like the whole picture becomes
Clear by the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so I have reverse lovers is about disharmony and imbalance. And so what was this position again?
This is
The
people or
around you?
circumstances
Oh,
surrounding
okay.
you.
All right. The reverse lovers in your reading can point to a relationship that is out of balance or codependent. This can also point to relying too heavily on a partner to fulfill your needs or having unrealistic expectations to your relationships. To fix the imbalance, look inward to see where you can find the source of disharmony. Happiness is an inside job that is reflected in our relationships.
Okay. Reverse, the lovers may indicate conflict, discontent, or separation from a person or within yourself. So you feel unable to connect with the object of your desire, whether that's a flesh and blood lover or someone you feel passionate about, and it causes unhappiness. Perhaps you feel unable to express your love, or you believe if you do, you'll be rejected. The card also shows you're uncertain about a decision you must make or unhappy with the outcome of a choice you've already made. In a reading about love, it can indicate you and a lover are separated by circumstances, location, responsibilities, or even a death. Sometimes it represents a manipulation again. A manipulation, a loveless relationship, incompatibility, or quarreling. It can encourage you to heal an inner rift. I feel like that tracks with things we've all been saying.
Well, yeah, I think like so far up to this point, it's like the message is like things aren't as you thought they were, as like through your journey, and then also like maybe the people you thought were your person maybe further than you thought, especially with like what you were saying that like they might not be like with you at this moment. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? And what do you think?
Yeah.
Let's do the last one and then let's like talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
I feel like you have a lot more information than we're getting yet. So I'm excited to get into it.
2 last cards indicates what you hope or fear, or what you hope
Four
and
of
fear.
Pentacles upright. I have
it goes to this, and so it goes here to here, and then
it
back
goes, it goes straight up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, this is the hope and fear, or hope or fear.
Yeah.
So 4 of Pentacles upright. This is about building stability and conserving resources. This is about like holding too tightly to material world will never satisfy your need for a sense of security. In a love and romance reading, you or your partner are waiting until you feel more established before making a more serious commitment, such as buying an engagement ring, buying property, or starting a family. Careful planning isn't sexy, but a sense of stability is needed before either of you feels comfortable in taking the next steps.
I agree. It represents a practical, conservative attitude toward money and material goods. You place great value on wealth and take pride in your worth. Because security is important to you, you hold on tight to what you own and may hoard money rather than enjoying it. Okay.
No, that's certainly not true.
No. In a reading about love, the upright 4 represents a stable, secure, structured relationship. The partnership may be based on status and money rather than love and may lack passion.
No.
This is like a girl with really long braids just like holding on to these 4.
Yeah, like hoarding money, it seems like. It says... But if we take out the money aspect of it and we think about like
in a like a romance term, it sounds like you're really attached to this thought of what you think this partner maybe should be.
Yeah.
Or like you're holding on to something rather than releasing it in a way.
That's so interesting because I feel like I've got nothing left to give. I've given it all up. Like I've really just like this is it.
Well,
Open
this
the
can
palm of
also
my
represent
hand.
people around you.
So maybe it's not me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that person who hasn't given it up, because I am honestly like, I feel like you shouldn't have to say what you aren't, but because maybe Christy doesn't know me, like I don't care about material things. Like I literally like don't care. Like for me, it's like I find value in like experience and like sitting here with you guys and learning about you and your process and like getting to know you more deeply. That is vastly more interesting and useful to me than money ever could be. And I like abhor the idea of showing money or status and wealth, and I've always said like I want to be successful with my writing and my producing, but I never want to be famous.
Maybe that's like maybe you're right, Devin, that this is something for the person that you think that is gonna be part of your, maybe that's maybe that's the person that's meant for you that they're going through and that's preventing this from working right now or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like they're not ready in many ways.
Well, I've always said like I had to get my shit together, but like I think like what I want has been cultivated and so specific in some ways.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. It indicates what you hope and fear, or what you hope and fear. Do you have any
Could be a fear.
I see the cards that are other people. I see the cards that are me. And I think, I talked to my brother. We were so weird because the day my mom got out of surgery, she was like, obviously like they had pain meds because she had just gotten like a major surgery. So she was kind of in and out of sleep, and me and my brother started talking, and he's a Libra, and like he's the externalizer, I'm the internalizer. Sometimes we clash. And we started talking about like resources and masculine versus feminine energy, and like he's very interesting in his own right, like really, really smart. And just made different choices than I did in life, and like really could have been like a rocket scientist for NASA if that's what he wanted. He just takes he enjoys taking things apart and putting them back together, and I enjoy doing that with people. He does to things what I do with people, I guess, in like a weird way. But we love to like analyze and look. And he had recently said to me, you're because of the nature of my position and what I do, and like I never like necessarily aspired to that. I aspired to work hard, to do well, to derive data and be a little nerd and like synthesize it and be like, this can be helpful.
Right.
And
like
that
a
is
translator.
Yeah, like a translator of numbers and creativity. And he knows that about me. He's a little
Like
bit
an
more
alchemist.
I love the book The Alchemist. That's one of my favorite
You're taking one
books.
thing and changing it into another.
I feel like I constantly am doing that with like people and situations
go.
and just transmuting energy.
There you go.
And he and I were talking and he was like, what's interesting about your situation is like, yeah, he's like, you like, and this is his words, not mine. So I'm like grateful. But he was like, you're a boss ass bitch, but you're not going to maybe date like a dude that has less resources. And I said, I would. He said, I know you could, but in reality, you probably wouldn't. But you are in your masculine energy a lot. And so the men that you're going to run into want someone ultra feminine because of how masculine they are.
Right.
And so the issue is always, the issue is always like, I feel like, and I wouldn't change myself, but would I get more into feminine energy if I had someone who's hyper masculine? But I have met like one or two men, but again, in the workplace, and that's just a big no-no for me. I would just never cross that line, who are like, see a feminine sort of empress vibes. And I appreciate that deeply, but again, it's because we're both in the workplace, it's unprofessional, or whatever the case has been. It's been a situation where it's just not appropriate, and I will go with what is appropriate, especially in terms of my career, and also just respecting boundaries. And that's a big thing, like setting boundaries.
That's
so
you
that's the conservative
holding
attitude.
on to like things you think are good.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I thought this was about the other person being greedy, and you're like, no,
I
it's
don't
about
know.
you.
No, hearing you talk about this, I'm like, that's probably you holding on to these things that you think are right, and it's like things you didn't even think to try.
Probably because I'm like very much about the.
You're like, here's a boundary.
But here's the deal. I always say when I cross a line, it's done because I'll never care about that boundary again. So I curate very careful boundaries.
That's the conservative.
I
It
think
talks about
that's-
conservative attitude.
Yeah. That might be that.
Yeah.
And that's like, that could be something, that sounds like a hope and fear
fear,
situation. Because it's something you want, but also like necessarily.
Something you can't have. You just can't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. I really didn't think that's what. Sometimes I'm like so shocked by like how I'm perceived. Like, did you ever see that meme when you realize you're perceived by people and it's like the girl throwing up? Like that's me all the time. That's like me all the time.
Okay, let's see the last card, and then maybe you go pee, and then we'll like.
We'll discuss. We'll debrief.
Talk about it behind my back, and then like I'll come out, and then I'll find out what you guys said during the podcast. No,
Oh no, we'll say it to your face.
Yeah.
No, but like combine, like you can powwow about it.
We'll see. Okay. This is the likely future outcome.
Okay.
And this is what the six.
No.
No.
Yeah.
The
Six
of Pence.
Yeah.
A lot of
Six
pentacles, which
Yeah, that's
always comes
true.
up. You know, pentacles always come up in my love life readings. Always.
Oh,
Really?
Always. Every time I'm like, why are you talking about my career? This is my love life. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
In a reading about love, you may feel inequity in the balance of power. Perhaps your needs aren't being met, or you aren't meeting your partner's needs. The reverse. Is it reversed? Yeah.
Yeah.
The reverse 6 recommends focusing on give and take in a relationship, supporting and encouraging each other.
That's it?
That's literally it.
Wow. I feel like he usually shows more to say. Okay. This is about generosity with strings attached or inequity, like Devin said. So the reverse 6 of Pentacles can come as a warning of generosity with heavy strings attached, or a warning to watch out for intentions behind the act. This may relate to you giving with an expectation of getting something in return, or being disappointed. Try to give your time, energy, and resources to people and situations where the only reward you can expect is the joy of being of service.
So it's really interesting because I like intuitively, I've been conditioned to be opposite of like giving with strings attached. Oh. So it's not, I think that's someone else in my life that I know very well because I have formed this habit due to this person.
Interesting.
Or I will give with no strings attached, which I think is the lack of boundary that sometimes I have because this person will always make you aware that they've given to you.
That's
Which I don't think is a romantic thing, but it does affect the way that I go into relationships.
Is this person still in your life, or are they past? Like
They're still in my life.
Not like they're dead, but like you know what I mean.
No. They're still like an active dynamic in my life.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So maybe something likely future outcome, something
In that relationship maybe needs to change
Yeah.
in order to
Like a domino effect.
Yeah, I think a lot of this feels like a domino effect, not specific to a person, but specific to relationships outside of love.
It's like how you treat the different people around you is going to, in turn, like change how you think of your relationships.
I think that you've nailed it. Yeah. That's like the 7 options and the 1 nail.
Yeah.
That you what is it? 3 of Pentacles.
3 of Pentacles.
I mean,
and then
like
also the 7 of cups too.
Well, I think this is like, maybe the lack of self-awareness that I had, and even though it's in the past, right? I'm only realizing it in the past.
Yeah, it echoes.
But I think again, it sends a sentiment, and I think it's like it's no surprise to me that the Hangman came up. He comes up all the time. The Magician or the Empress or some type of like feminine, strong sort of like magical power. Pentacles, like all of the other cards are basically pentacles except for the swords, the 2 swords, which I can't say I'm shocked by this, but I think it paints like a very clear picture of like what I sort of was like, all of these other things I need to wrap up, and I'm really not ready because there are these other dynamics and relationships that I need to wrap up.
Agree. It's like the whole, it's like romance is afoot, but there's so many other things to work on before you can get to that.
There are like chapters I need to close in order to like actually make the right type of emotional maturely space.
You know what we're not seeing any is wands.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really interesting, the absence of wands.
New ideas.
Well, that's air, right?
Yeah.
And like, I think I'm such an air heavy person despite my like logical sense. And I think you're right? It's more of, in my opinion, Pentacles, which is like earth signs and like more material here and there. And then like the major arcana are all ones that like the Lovers never really quite comes up, but when it comes up, it's like, oh, okay.
In a reverse.
In a reverse too. And it's so interesting that this is how you guys read reverses, because the cards that I'm probably going to read are circular. So I see them as a clock. So I see what part in the rotation. They never said that in the book. That's how I interpret it.
No, I love that. I can't wait to like dive in. Also, check out the next episode. We're going to go into it.
No, I love this. I think it makes sense, and I think it is calling me out for the lack of boundaries and a lot of the, I mean, some of the shitty cards are me, okay, whatever. But
you're like, I get it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I fucking know. But I think some of the other ones are, well, and I think it's so interesting. Pentacles is like, I always put my career over my relationship, and so I think it's so
there's so much in
there's so much Pentacles, right? And I think it's very clear that there are certain chapters I have to close, and that whether you're not
at a place to receive the love that you need.
I know what that clearly looks like now, but I have to do the last bit of actions using like my throat chakra to be like, okay, this is what you need to do. And I kind of knew that. I knew that I am through.
They always tell you what you need to know.
Yeah.
Literally.
They literally are like, you already know. Like if you're really like self-aware, you're like, I'm not shocked by any of this. If someone is like that's actually the worst, is when you read someone's cards and you're like, babe, from what you've told me, it's like so clear that like, and like, even they don't tell me until after,
We did a reading for her friend who's a teacher, and it was like very much the cards were saying this one thing, and she was like kind of like, no, that's not really resonating. But
I've had to break it up. I've had to break it down to some people, like, babe, this is you.
But afterwards, she told us she has this like whole, well, I'm not gonna call her spot on the pod, but she has this whole other thing that she like didn't really want to discuss on the pod, and we were like, oh wow, this makes total sense.
Message was received, I think. This is our second bottle of champagne or sparkling.
I'm a little chaotic sometimes, but I've been told I'm chaotic good,
and it's been so good.
Costco, please sponsor these human beings.
Seriously, because I always like to choose like Costco wine. So the next few wines, they are from Costco.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Christy had a whole Costco kick where we were doing.
Yeah, it was like the Kirkland brand.
Apparently, the Costco wines are like
from good vineyards.
But this the extra
at a discounted price.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah, right. Same with their like liquor, I think, too.
Nice.
Well, even their Natty Lights, basically our first beer Olympics when I used to live with a bunch of guy friends. We did like the Natty Light cans. It was like literally like 10 cents a can. Like we like yeah.
No, I totally believe that, because like they just get whatever surplus they have.
That brings me back to TCNJ Natty Light.
Okay, I think I did take a picture at the beginning. I did. Yeah, that's good.
So what we were saying is, like, there's a lot of, like, themes coming through, like, kind of,
It's like perception based.
yeah, like, a lot about perceiving. Just the keyword that jumped out at me was a lot of, like, manipulation. Not, like, necessarily manipulation going on, but, like, just kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like, the vibe, but not the vibe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It's like an expectation versus reality
Exactly.
situation.
So, like, holistically, I feel like it's telling us a lot of what we already know and describing people around us, but, like, also telling you, in the end, what you kind of already have a grasp on. Like, this is what I know I need to do, and this reading is being like, yeah, you know the tea. Like, let's...
I feel like there's ultimately someone that's out there for you, but then you keep getting, like, distracted by these other options.
Well, and I also think, like, these other dynamics in my life. Like, I want to hear what you guys have to say. That I think
I'd love to hear your
we'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, so I think, like, a lot of it was, like, in my opinion, was, like, I sort of said, I don't know if I finished the story of, like, waking up on my 30th birthday, which my golden birthday is my 30th.
Oh, 30th on the 30th.
Yeah. And so there was just, like, this, like, I woke up and I was, like, really unhappy. And I was like, this is crazy. I was in Hawaii with my best friend who also turned 30 earlier that week. She had just broken up with her boyfriend.
Oh, damn.
We're both June Cancers. And typically we used to clash when we were younger. But the older we got, the more we got each other. And we've, like, really evolved and grown together. And we had, like, a mostly amazing trip. We had, like, one moment where we were both like, okay, I'm, like, feeling this way. And then we talked about it, and we were both like, we're idiots, whatever. And I woke up, and we had such a fun time. It was, like, midst of the pandemic.
Did it in Hawaii. So
Right. Like, I was so grateful. It was so cheap because people just got vaccines. And so they were, like, giving, like, the plane ticket for, like, a first class ticket was, like, $450.
Holy moly.
Well, coming from LA, you know? And so I went, and I woke up, and I felt like, how could I be so unhappy when so many people would be grateful for these things? Why am I not grateful for the things I have? And I had to, like, unpack that. And I think what I found is, like, a lot of being on the defensive, on the survival mode, and not being open to receiving. And I think what I'm seeing...
Do you need more?
I'm okay for right now. I think... Thank you, though. I think what I'm seeing from a lot of this is, like, one, like, them calling me on my bullshit about, like, infusing, like, career with this. And I think the other part of this that I'm seeing is, like, until I can give up these other dynamics, the right person isn't, like, I think this is them. Like, I totally think this, like, material thing is them because I'm so not like that. And so whether it's I give up a dynamic with a person who's, like, be grateful for everything, or I have to be willing to set that boundary because the person maybe that's coming into my life wants that but doesn't know how to, like, set that boundary for themselves. So, like, different pieces, like, make sense to me where it's, like, I think, like, in some ways I'm like, okay, like, I'm ready for this thing, but it's like, you're not, because you have to, like, wrap out some really serious, like, condition patterns. But I do think, like, for me, I think it's all positive, and I think it's just, like, a part of the year I've had.
Yeah, I definitely think, like, the energy from, like, the past year is something that's still very present and strong with you. You're literally just overcoming, like,
there's a lot of scattered things,
like the latest big thing that went kind of haywire. You're just kind of still within the shockwave of that. And so I feel like Matt may be coming through a lot and affecting this reading in a way.
A little bit of chaos.
Lots of, like, things to tie up, I feel, is the vibe I'm getting.
But that's totally fine. I mean, it's doable.
Well, and I knew that. And I knew, like, I keep saying, like, I think, like, I'm, like, manifesting, like, a lot of really healthy stuff because what I want to focus on is, like, a really healthy companionship. And, like, I think there are other dynamics and conditions in my life that actually are preventing me from that, you know?
Which seems to be totally true.
I feel like what was very spot on in this, for at least for me, and what you had been telling us before, was, like, this cross part of it. In the beginning, just kind of like what was telling us the tea and what was telling us, like, what has been going on, I felt like was very accurate to me.
Like this masculine just person,
sort of like,
and then... Yeah,
this is sort of like the unknown staff, you know? And so it's still kind of maybe unclear about what may happen, but, like, a little bit of warning here and there, a little bit of, like, be careful doing this, be careful doing that, look out for this, look out for that. Which, okay. maybe that's what's coming. Maybe that's what's on the horizon.
Well, I think in the past I've often like tried to maybe change my energy. Like looking back, I'm like I've tried to change my energy to match somebody else because I'm
like,
really
let
good
me
at that. Yeah, because I'm really good at tapping into people's energy, and instead of like standing in my own.
I think that's maybe the key thing is like be yourself. What's gonna come is gonna come instead of just like making it work.
And even your fucking notification from pattern.
I know, right?
Be your authentic self.
Be your authentic self.
That's the tea, guys.
That's the tea.
Be your authentic self
you.
in 2023.
Yep.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. This was awesome. And I think like so spot on. And I love your like combined energy and process. And it's always like so fun to learn how different people express themselves spiritually. So thank you guys for having me on and like doing this. I always
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, of
sharing
course.
all your like amazing stories. And I also just can't wait to dive in the next episode on Wine and Divination where we get read. What's the deal with the pod? What's Marg's like whole process? We're gonna learn that. And
cool.
Also,
Yikes.
okay, before we end this, what did we think of the two? We had a sparkling wine, we had a champagne, we had a mezcal. We had 3 drinks, guys. This is a record.
Yeah.
What do we think?
Let's
Let's do the Sofia Coppola sparkling white wine.
Dare I give it 5 Devons out of 5 Devons?
But you're not a white wine bitch.
I know, but it was a
That's
good
shocking.
sparkling wine.
No, I agree. I totally agree. What about you?
I would say 4 out of 5 paired with the mezcal. I think there was like a floral undertone to both, and like even though
Good
I'm not
pairing.
a white wine drinker per se,
Oh.
I really enjoyed the sparkling white wine, which is not champagne as you guys taught me or kind of reminded me today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I give the Sofia Coppola white sparkling wine 4 out of 5
Okay.
Nice.
because it's drinkable.
Yeah.
That's my only criteria. It's
Yeah.
a little sweet for me. It's a little syrupy at the end, but you know what? I would enjoy drinking it. You can open it up, you can drink it. That's all I ask for.
Yeah.
Okay, when it comes to let's talk about Yola. This is
Honestly-
totally different. This is a liquor. This is a mezcal. What do you think?
I think I'm just too much of a bitch for it.
Yeah,
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I just am not strong enough for the Yola.
I've enjoyed this. I'm not a big mezcal drinker, but having drank this on its own with ice and like a little, cold water vibe. I'm very impressed by this. It's very
he was
smooth.
right. This
Yeah.
nice Armenian man
Yeah.
from the Hollywood
I can
Mark.
tell that it's like quality.
There's a lot
and
of
I'm just,
personality.
I've just been beaten by tequila. Like it has
Yeah,
ruined
Friday
me.
night. Yes. Yeah.
It's definitely a super smoky vibe. It's giving me a lot for not a lot, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have a lot of respect for it. I feel like I'm gonna give this I think I'm also gonna give this like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think it's solid.
For me, I am gonna go a 5 marg out of 5 marg, only because this is with the ice, like really.
No, it really brings it out.
It really brings it out, and I think maybe even pairing it with like the Coppola wine, like the Coppola sparkling
I love
wine.
that. People usually give like drink reviews like paired with another alcohol.
No, it's just me
you gotta
probably.
just drink both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Guys.
so. I mean, I'm curious to see what the experience would be outside of it, but like,
I would like to put it
5 out
in
of
like
5.
a cocktail or something.
well, like
you
I'm
know?
thinking like a watermelon margarita with like fresh basil. I
Yeah.
love to like make like
Like a
fresh
agua fresca.
ingredients. Yes.
Yes.
I love that. I
Love
think
that
that would be
too.
really good because it does have this really smoky vibe. Okay, the Corbel. I think
Tried and true.
I think you just can't go wrong with this at its price point. It's $15. It's champagne.
Yeah, it's champagne.
Like it's not
chill champagne.
It's
you know?
not. It's not too sweet. It's not too dry. It's not too
Tried and
like
true. That's right.
you know that back in the back of the throat when you get like really like about like champagne. You know.
Yes, no one has ever talked about that. Thank
Yeah.
you for
Yeah.
addressing the elephant in the room
Yeah. No,
about
I
champagne,
think
even though I picked it.
I think it acts like a little punchier version of a sparkling wine.
Yes.
A little bit more dry, a little bit more like,
Yeah.
I like it. 4 Devons out of 5.
I also give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
4 out of
Solid.
5. Yeah, solid.
Solid across the board. 4 out of 5.
Guys, thanks for like indulging me with the mezcal because I was like,
no, I
this
love
is like a
to
tough
try.
like.
Where's Aquarius? We love to
Yeah,
try.
we love it.
new
I love to
things.
try
Yeah.
new things, even though I can say if a thing is, too much for me, I appreciate the gift and I appreciate the experience and I love trying new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
And
for
I
being
cannot
here.
wait until our next episode where we learn your process and then also
Yeah.
know what's the tea with the pod.
Yeah.
We get read
We need to know, guys.
as a pod.
I'm so excited to like read you guys.
Yay!
Okay. Well, check out our podcast. We're on YouTube. We're on all the platforms. You know, Spotify, iTunes, whatever the fuck you want. We're on it. Like
Wine.divination@gmail.com and
your
on
Alexa,
Instagram. Yeah.
wineanddivination.com. Join our coven on Discord. We have a Discord. Come chat with us. We would love to know your thoughts.
I'm in.
Join our
Say
Discord.
less. Yeah, say less. I'm in. Also, I'll keep you guys updated on what comes
What's the
into
tea?
play.
We're doing a new thing of like, so we
We're
have
gonna
our
check in with
first recap episode coming up, and so we may have to do a recap.
It's
End
like
of
2
Q1
episodes
maybe, like end of Q1. Like we'll give it
Yeah.
3 to 6 months, and we'll see
exactly,
where I land. Yeah,
because
Yeah.
readings are always good for like around 3 months.
I
Yeah.
say 3 to 6
I
max.
think like quarter system is really good for that.
Yeah.
Not to bring in like my accounting brain into this creative occult situation, but 3 to 6 months. Let's
I
move
love
on
that you
quarter.
brought
There you go.
Q1 into this.
I love that. Yeah, just bringing Q1 into this. Well, thank you guys again. I'm so grateful, and I love talking to people about their whole thing. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Where
We
can
have a
people
little-
find you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm like super private. Actually, I'm
Okay.
like shocked that I even said this much. You guys got me drinking, so that now I'm like now
It's
out
because
there.
you brought an extra alcohol,
Yeah, you
and we had
did.
all this champagne.
Or we have a little gift for Mark too. Little
What?
sticker.
Yes. Our sticker for
Yes.
you.
Oh my god. I'm gonna save this for the right place.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
She'd think about it.
Yeah, you think about
No,
it.
I might be able to put it on the back of this. We'll get
Okay.
into these. We'll get into this deck. and these
Yeah,
decks
check out
and
the
who
next
they are.
episode.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I feel like your story was so amazing, and I can't wait to learn more in the next episode. Check it out next week. Follow us on Instagram at wine.divination. Also, we never said our usual thing. We're your hosts. I'm Christy.
Oh, and I'm Devin.
And they're fucking amazing.
We forget that.
Thanks.
What else?
we do forget.
Wineanddivination.com to check out our social media. YouTube.com at wine.divination.
Donate us a bottle of wine.
Yes, on Cash App.
Cash App.
Or maybe whiskey.
Or
Dollar
maybe whiskey.
sign Wine X Divination. If you're
Hey.
still on Twitter and Elon Musk hasn't killed it by now, it's Wine X Divination. I don't want to get into
R.I.P.
that.
Twitter.
Yeah. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
Maybe we're on another
Should we
Twitter.
read Twitter's
might not
cards
be on-
or what?
Yeah, seriously.
That's-
In another like multiverse, Twitter is still thriving.
Oh, I'm
not
yeah,
this one.
In a different one. In our dreams.
So I'm actually like, okay, we can talk about this off pod. Okay.
Anyway, let's
Anyway.
edit.
Oh, I love that bit because maybe we'll tell you in the next episode.
Yeah, maybe
not.
we will.
T.
T.
Have a happy new year. We're going to see you next week on
Yep.
Monday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.